Survival is not wholeness, and it's time we stop pretending. It is good afternoon, everyone. Thank you truly for being here today. Thank you for pausing your life, your responsibilities, your endless to do lists to sit with me in this moment. Because what I'm about to share with you is not information, it's transformation. It's a conversation that has the power to shift the way you see yourself, your pain, your power, and your purpose. Recently, I had the privilege of sitting down with someone who is not just changing lives, she is rewriting the narrative for an entire generation of women who have spent their whole lives pouring into everyone else while quietly abandoning themselves. Her name is Romekia Brown. And let me tell you something about Romekia. She is not just a voice in the noise, she is a movement, she is a mirror. She is the woman who looked trauma dead in the face and said, "You will not define me." She is the woman who turned survival into a sacred art form, who transformed brokenness into a blueprint for healing, and who now stands as living proof that choosing yourself is not selfish. It is survival, it is sacred, it is necessary. Ramakia is a confidence coach, a style architect, a healer in her own right, and the creator of movements like I Choose Me and Dear Me, I Choose You. She works with women, particularly Black women, who have spent years being everything for everyone else: the helper, the fixer, the strong friend, the provider, the nurturer, while secretly feeling disconnected from who they are underneath it all. And through her work, she is teaching women that healing is not just emotional, it is transformational, it is restorative, it is revolutionary. So today I want to share with you the insights Romekia offered me. Insights that challenge what we've been taught about strength, about confidence, about healing. Insights that will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about what it means to be whole. Let me start with something that might surprise you, something that might even make you uncomfortable. We live in a world that celebrates resilience. We applaud the woman who keeps going, who keeps showing up, who keeps smiling through the storm. We call her strong. We call her inspiring. We call her a survivor. And she is all of those things. But here's what we don't talk about. Here's what Romekia helped me see, and it stopped me in my tracks. Survival is not the same as wholeness. Let me say that again because I need you to really hear this. Survival is not the same as wholeness. Most people think healing means erasing trauma. They think it means getting over it, moving past it, pretending it never happened. But what if I told you that true healing doesn't erase your pain? What if I told you that true healing transforms it? What if I told you that the discomfort you've been running from, the discomfort you've been numbing, the discomfort you've been bearing under busyness and productivity and the mask of being strong is actually the birthplace of your greatness? Romekia shared something with me that I will never forget. She said that true confidence isn't born from perfection or external validation, it's forged in the uncomfortable seasons. The seasons where you confront your pain head on, the seasons where you grieve the old you without guilt, the seasons where you allow transformation to reveal a deeper identity. Think about that for a moment. We spend so much time trying to avoid discomfort. We numb it with Netflix, with wine, with work, with anything that will distract us from feeling what we're feeling. We bury it under busyness, under productivity, under the mask of being strong. But what if discomfort is not the enemy? What if discomfort is the invitation? What if the very thing you've been running from is the very thing that will set you free? Romekia said something that I carry with me now like a mantra. She said, being uncomfortable, I excel in it. That's where greatness begins. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You might be thinking, no, but I've been uncomfortable my whole life. I've been surviving my whole life. When do I get to rest? And that is a valid question. That is a necessary question. That is a question that deserves an answer. But here's the shift. Here's the counterintuitive truth that will change everything if you let it. Choosing yourself is not about avoiding discomfort. It's about no longer abandoning yourself in the middle of it. Let me break that down because this is where the real work begins. This is where the transformation happens. Romekia talked about three key truths that I want to share with you today. Three truths that can change the way you move through the world. Three truths that can change the way you see yourself. Three truths that can change your life if you let them. The first truth is this: healing is transformational, not just emotional. We've been taught that healing is something you do in private, something you do quietly, something you do alone in the dark when no one is watching. But healing is not just about feeling better. Healing is about rebuilding. It's about rediscovering. It's about setting boundaries, walking away from what drains you, and prioritizing peace without apology. And here's the part that makes this so hard for so many women, especially Black women, especially women who have been taught that their value is tied to how much they can carry, how much they can endure, how much they can survive. Setting boundaries feels like betrayal. Walking away feels like failure. Prioritizing yourself feels like selfishness. But let me tell you what Romekia taught me. Boundaries are not walls, boundaries are bridges, bridges back to yourself, bridges back to your peace, bridges back to your purpose. And when you set a boundary, you are not saying, I don't care about you. You are saying, I also care about me. That is transformational. That is healing in action. That is what it looks like to choose yourself. Let me give you an example. There was a woman, Romekia worked with, let's call her Maya. Maya was a powerhouse. She ran a successful business, raised two kids, took care of her aging mother, and was the go to person for everyone in her family. If someone needed something, they called Maya. If someone had a problem, Maya fixed it. If someone was hurting, Maya showed up. But here's the thing: Maya was exhausted. She was burnt out. She was running on fumes. And one day she broke down in tears and said to Ramekia, I don't even know who I am anymore. I've been so busy being everything for everyone else that I forgot to be anything for myself. And that's when the work began. That's when Maya started setting boundaries. She started saying no without explanation. She started walking away from relationships that drained her. She started prioritizing her peace. And you know what happened? She didn't lose the people who truly loved her. She lost the people who only loved what she could do for them. And that, my friends, is the difference. That is the transformation. The second truth is this: confidence starts from within and expresses outwardly. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, I've heard this before. Confidence comes from within. Tell me something new. But stay with me, because what Romekia revealed is deeper than a motivational quote on Instagram. She said that confidence is not about perfection, it's about showing up with your scars. It's about using style, mindset shifts, and vulnerability as tools. It's about understanding that how you see yourself matters, not because appearance fixes pain, but because your outer transformation can be the first visible sign that your inner healing has started. Think about that. How many times have you looked in the mirror and felt disconnected from the person staring back at you? How many times have you felt like you were wearing a mask, playing a role, showing up as the version of yourself that everyone else needed you to be? How many times have you felt like a stranger in your own skin? Romekia's work is about helping women reconnect. It's about helping women remember who they are underneath all the roles, all the expectations, all the trauma. And sometimes that reconnection starts with something as simple as choosing an outfit that makes you feel like yourself again. Something as simple as standing a little taller, something as simple as looking in the mirror and saying, I matter. Because confidence is not arrogance, confidence is not perfection. Confidence is permission, permission to take up space, permission to be seen, permission to be imperfect and still worthy, permission to exist as you are without apology. Let me tell you about another woman. Let's call her Jasmine. Jasmine came to Romekia feeling invisible. She had gained weight after her divorce. She stopped dressing up. She stopped wearing makeup. She stopped caring about how she looked because she felt like no one saw her anyway. And Romekia didn't tell her to lose weight. She didn't tell her to change her body. She told her to change her lens. She told her to start seeing herself the way God sees her, worthy, beautiful enough. And slowly, Jasmine started showing up differently. She started wearing colors again. She started smiling again. She started feeling like herself again. And you know what happened? People started noticing. Not because she looked different, but because she carried herself differently. Because confidence is an energy. And when you step into your power, the world feels it. And the third truth is this: your pain becomes purpose. This is the one that will challenge you. This is the one that will make you uncomfortable. Because we've been taught that pain disqualifies us. We've been taught that trauma makes us broken. We've been taught that if we've been hurt, if we've been abandoned, if we've been betrayed, then we are somehow less than, somehow damaged, somehow unworthy. But Remekia's message is the opposite. She says that no trauma disqualifies you. She says that you can outgrow patterns, embrace nonlinear growth, and turn survival into a movement that inspires your community and your business. Let me say that again. Your survival can become someone else's breakthrough. Now, I want to pause here because I know some of you are sitting with wounds that still feel fresh. I know some of you are carrying pain that you haven't even named yet. I know some of you are wondering if you'll ever feel whole again. And I want you to hear this. You do not have to have it all figured out. You do not have to be healed to start healing. You do not have to be perfect to be purposeful. Romekia's journey is proof of that. She didn't wait until she had all the answers. She didn't wait until she felt ready. She started where she was. She started with honesty. She started with accountability. She started by asking herself the hard questions. What parts of me still need healing? What patterns am I repeating? Why do I keep shrinking myself? Why do I pour into everyone else while neglecting me? And those questions, as uncomfortable as they are, became the foundation of her transformation. Because here's the thing: healing is not linear. There are days you feel powerful and days you feel broken again. There are moments you outgrow people, relationships, environments, and even old versions of yourself. Sometimes healing requires grieving the person you used to be while becoming the person you were meant to become. And that grief, that discomfort, that is not a sign that you're doing it wrong. That is a sign that you're doing it right. Let me tell you about one more woman. Let's call her Tasha. Tasha survived abuse. She survived betrayal. She survived loss. And for years, she carried shame. She thought her past disqualified her from purpose. She thought her trauma made her unworthy. But then she met Romekia, and Romekia told her something that changed her life. She said, your story is not your shame. Your story is your strength. And the women who need you are waiting for you to heal so you can help them heal too. And that's when Tasha started her own movement. She started speaking. She started writing. She started sharing her story. And now she's helping women all over the world step into their power because she chose to turn her pain into purpose. So let me bring this home. Let me bring this back to you. Because this is not just Romekia's story. This is not just Maya's story or Jasmine's story or Tasha's story. This is your story too. What if today, right now, in this moment, you whispered to yourself, just maybe I should choose me? What if you gave yourself permission to set one boundary this week? What if you gave yourself permission to release one old pattern? What if you gave yourself permission to affirm one truth about your worth every single day? Because here's what Romekia wants you to know. Here's what I want you to know. Here's what I need you to know. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to outgrow what no longer serves you. You are allowed to choose yourself, and you do not need permission to become who you were created to be. Dear listener, you are not disqualified because of what happened to you. Your pain does not define you. Your trauma does not limit you. Your survival is not the end of your story, it is the beginning. So here's my challenge to you: not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Today, right now. Journal one boundary you will set this week. Release one old pattern that no longer serves you. Affirm one truth about your worth daily. Start now, without permission, without apology, without explanation. Because the world is waiting for the version of you that chooses yourself. The world is waiting for the version of you that heals. The world is waiting for the version of you that is soft, that is whole, that is free. And if you're wondering whether you're strong enough, whether you're brave enough, whether you're worthy enough, let me tell you something. You already are. You've survived everything life has thrown at you so far. And that same strength that got you through the storm is the same strength that will carry you into your greatness. So stop waiting. Stop hiding, stop shrinking. The world needs you. Not the version of you that's perfect, not the version of you that has it all together, the version of you that's real, the version of you that's healing, the version of you that chooses yourself every single day. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your permission slip. Now go choose you and watch what happens when you do. Thank you.